Hi guys, I'm Dan Hoff, CEO of HoneyStick, and today we're going to bring you our revolutionary wax dab pen that we just launched called the HoneyStick Plasma GQ. Now we're really excited to launch this wax pen because we think that it has really unique technology that has not yet been brought to pocket-sized vape pens. So in this episode, we're going to do an unboxing, run through some of the technical features of what really makes this item unique, and we're even going to bring Honey Girl on at the second half of the episode, and she is going to run through and do a test with us and demo to you guys how it works with the CBD's crumbles, which is concentrates, like a waxy form of CBDs. So we're going to have an action-packed episode here for you guys. So let's start off with going through the kit and its contents. So each one of your kits is going to come in this nice box. So you can see it's the Plasma GQ. Each one of these boxes is going to slide out, where you will have your Plasma GQ instruction manual, USB charging cable. You're going to have 2 charged with isopropyl Q-tips that are meant for cleaning your glass as well as your heater. At the very end of the episode, we're also gonna demo these to show you exactly how this works, how you would clean up your unit. You have a spare glass. You have really what is a surgical dab tool. I mean, this thing is really high quality and precise, so definitely don't let this fall into the pile of dab tools that you lose or throw away, because it's very useful and very high quality. And then you have our starter kit, which is the Plasma GQ. So here's the starter kit. Give you a nice little close-up. You have the HoneyStick insignia, the Plasma GQ, the nice hexagons. You have your wide bore mouthpiece. You have your glass chamber here, your heating element and bowl on the inside. Now, this does look a lot different from what you guys have seen here on the outside. It might remotely resemble the hybrid or a cannabis cup kit. But what this kit packs is a technology that you can only find in tabletop rigs. So what it has is the wax does not actually touch or interact with the coil heating element in this unit. What you have is a proprietary heating element that sits directly below a quartz glass bowl, and the quartz glass bowl is what your wax concentrates go into, and that actually gets superheated. So what happens is your concentrates don't actually touch the coil. A lot of people complain that say, hey, concentrates that touch the coils, you get kind of a burnt ear, a metallic taste, or you can actually taste the coils. And people have been getting a little bit pickier and saying they only prefer a certain type of a coil or a ceramic coil, as those intricate flavor connoisseurs should. So what this unit aims to do is to bring you the kind of taste, the kind of purity, and the type of flavor that you can only get out of tabletop units, which would be, your traditional rig that uses either a blowtorch or uses a electric coil heater or like an e-nail or something like that, which would fit on your tabletop and work with the quartz bowl. So this works very much in the same. The temperatures work out a little bit differently. Your standard butane torches reach about 2,000 degrees. What this unit has on it is this unit has 2 different temperature settings on there, one low and one high, and we're going to talk about how to access those. The low temperature setting for the coil is 650 degrees Fahrenheit max temperature. And what this unit does when you have it on that low setting, it allows you to keep the power on for a full, not 10 seconds, which is usually standard, but for a full range of 15 seconds to give it that extra heat up time to allow your concentrates to vaporize. So then you would on your second temperature setting, which is 850 degree Fahrenheit, which is probably one of the hottest temperatures that any live coil in vapes that I know of can get to. Then the battery programming, for safety reasons, cuts you down to a 10-second maximum that you can run the unit at. So let's jump into the functionality and how this pen works now that you guys have a background of it. And again, the key thing is here, the wax and concentrates only interact with the glass bowl, and the coil itself doesn't touch it. The coil heating element is only used to superheat the glass, which then vaporizes the concentrates. So this vaporizer, like many other vaporizers, has a locking feature on the button that you push it 5 times rapidly to turn it on or turn it off. You see it blinks up there, that means it's on. I actually had the unit on before, so now I turned it off, so let me click it 5 times to turn it on. There it blinked, now it's on. You see that the light is indicated with a green. The green light there means that it's on the lower temperature setting, 650 degree Fahrenheit. To change the temperature, what I do is I click the button 3 times repeatedly. The button color changes to a hyper white, which you can see there. That indicates that you are on the higher temperature setting. Now this unit does run to a high temperature, so before you do use it, to get the optimal results, you're going to want to put it on the charger and get a full charge. You do that by simply taking the cable that's provided and plugging it into the micro USB port on the back. You're going to hear it click securely, and then you're going to plug the other end of this into a wall adapter. We've charged them here on laptops. It's not going to charge as fast or give you as full of a charge, but so I recommend using a wall adapter and try to stay away from using an Apple wall adapter to get ideal results, because Apple wall adapters really fine-tuned for Apple products, and this is not an Apple product, this is a HoneyStick. So once you have your unit, how do you fill it? And let's talk about the heater. So you're going to want to make sure that your unit is turned off. Clicked it 5 times. You see when I push it, I get no LED. Secure the base, very gently wiggle the top. Top glass comes off, and here's where you have your bowl heater assembly. As you can see, if you get a nice close-up here, you can see that you have a heater coil that is much thicker than most coils, that looks kind of like a stovetop that is encapsulated below the glass bowl to superheat the glass bowl. Now, how would you replace this heater? This is not a 510 threaded unit, so you cannot use this atomizer for other things. It's a proprietary thread. What you would do is make sure that you haven't been testing this or using this, because this glass does get to extreme temperatures and can be extremely hot to the touch if you'd been using it. We haven't been using the unit. We know that it's cold. You simply grab the glass cradles, which are the metal parts. Don't squeeze or push on the glass. Quartz, it is delicate. As you simply wiggle it out. There's a 2-prong connector, very similar to a miniature version of like a wall plug that you plug into your wall, that goes into the receiving female ends of the battery. So as the performance of them drops off or they burn out, these will be available for purchase on our website as replacement coils. You simply, to put it in, hold the cradles, don't squeeze the glass, make sure you get a good secure connection, and you are good to go. Loading the unit is very simple. It goes through the quartz top. Because we have our air intake hole rod that goes in there so that you can excavate the vapor out through your inhalation, you want to make sure that when you're filling it, you only fill it with concentrates to the top levels of the cradle. So once you fill it up there, because you don't want the intake hole to be jammed against your concentrates and cause it to clog when you're trying to inhale, then you would really have to melt them down in order to get a draw. So once you have the unit filled, you click the unit 5 times to turn it on. just to show you guys some of the key features here. This unit has instantaneous heat up to get it to this hot temperature. Right now we're on the lowest setting. Let's show you how quick that coil gets red hot. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that thing gets super hot. It gets even hotter, even quicker if we bump it up in intensity settings. Look at that. I mean, it just really just gets up there. So this unit has a special programming feature also to keep it safe, which is the knockdown method. So when you put concentrates into the unit and you initially push fire, it glows up and gets really, really hot for about 1.5 seconds. And then the atomizer fades down into kind of a mode that will maintain the glass just to make sure that the outside of the unit and the batteries don't get to extreme temperatures. It is still getting up to the coil temperatures that we want it to, but it doesn't need that monster burst. Similar to if you have expensive stove tops, like I've seen them when I was in Europe at the hotels. They're like these Bosch stove tops, and when you turn on the electrical stove top, they flare up really, really red for the first like 30 seconds. And then they just drop down and kind of go on like a cruise control, because it goes intensely to jump right up to temperature. And then it doesn't want to overdo and, you know, get the whole counter super hot. So it kind of flares up and flares down as needed. Now that's similar kind of programming that is in this battery. So, you know, do be cognizant of that. Don't think that it's flaring up and the heat's going away. It is doing that as a specific safety feature. We have that programmed in here, and you will still get good vapors. Now, what we're gonna do is, if you guys are gonna stick around for the second half of the episode, is we're gonna have Honey Girl and we're gonna walk through really how to use it and really go into demoing it to show you, you know, exactly what you can expect, how it might be good to fill it so you can actually see this thing in action. You know, put it side by side with some traditional quartz units to talk about how the taste is. But if you're looking for a revolutionary pen that is really up there for the flavor chasing connoisseurs, the people who are all about purity, and you've only been able to do, you know, high-end concentrates out of tabletop rigs because of that, this little pocket pen might be something really good for you to look at. So for this and several other cool items, check us out on www.vapehoneystick.com. Follow along with us on Vape HoneyStick on Instagram. Use my special promo code HONEY420 for 20% off of this and other cool items. And stick around if you want to see this unit in action. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Vape responsibly. Hi guys, we're back here to go through our new unit, the Plasma GQ by HoneyStick. We're here with
Honey Girl,
and she is going to run through giving this thing a test run. Now, what we did here is to just show a little bit of difference. Is we took 2 vape pens. This one's a no-name pen that we just had, a generic one. It's just a standard double quartz. What we did was we took some CBD Goldline Crumble, which is 250 milligrams, really good pure stuff, and we filled up both pens. Now, as you can see, this one already melted because during the first half of our video, we were doing a lot of test runs and that glass was still a little bit hot when I filled it. Probably shouldn't do that, but in terms of the taste and where it's gonna go, it's not like it vaporized, it just kind of melted down a little bit. So we have them filled up with exactly the same thing. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Honey Girl try them both and tell us if she notices any differences in the flavor, in the intensity, or whatnot. Now, what I'm predicting based off of the design here is that the Plasma GQ is gonna have better flavor. What I think is gonna happen is the quartz unit is probably gonna heat up a little bit faster, possibly give a little bit more vape, but this one's, the GQ, I think is gonna be tastier. I don't know, Honey Girl. What are you thinking? Have you seen this unit?
I'm thinking the GQ just because I was just watching him do the test runs, and I was watching off the camera, and just to see the you know, you called it the blast of like fire, it was pretty intense. So
Wasn't fire. We're not promoting combustion, guys. Well, disclaimer.
But it's the heat, the blast of heat so quickly. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, but I am excited.
You know, based off of the sub-ohm video, you were a little bit nervous when you heard the
reason
fizzle
I'm
of things.
nervous.
So I don't know if you're the best guinea pig whenever things start flaring up or popping or, you know, showing funky colors. To
I
really,
don't think anybody is though, right?
I'm sure we got some viewers out there who would be willing to sign up for that. But anyways, so both these units are on. Why don't you start off with the no-name unit? And basically with this unit, it is a quartz unit. Those are thick rods in there. So, and it's not that big of a battery. So you want to push and hold it probably for like 4 seconds and then start inhaling for the remaining 6. Just to give it some time to heat up and vaporize, because it is crumble. It's not like it's an oozy wax or whatever. So give it a whirl.
Gotcha.
And let us know what you're thinking. There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, that was a pretty decent sized hit there. So
I got it this time.
Yeah, you weren't scared of that pen.
No. So okay, so I tried this pen. Easy pull. Doesn't heat up too much. It's not too hot. Could taste a little bit of the like a little like metal taste to it, but it's not a lot.
You got a little bit of the coil taste.
Yeah, the coil taste. I definitely got a little bit of that, but it's not bad. But yeah. That's
Okay.
what I wanted that one.
So now we're gonna step you over to the plasma. Now with this unit, we have it. If it's on white, that means it's on the higher temperature setting.
Do we
So-
want it on the higher temperature setting?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is, because it's glass, so no matter how much you heat the glass, you're really not gonna get a difference in the taste off of it. So, you know, like blowtorches, people blowtorching their quartz bangers. Blowtorches have temperatures that go in excess of 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is electronic, so we're still a lot lower than that, but we're looking for flavor. But to get these things to vaporize, you only really need about 450 to where particles will start vaporizing. So we're still double that. So what we want you to do is push and hold, let it heat up, you know, because it's crumble, let the button go immediately, then push and hold, count a few seconds, and then start inhaling for the rest of the time.
Okay.
So just give it that initial burst. So push and hold, right?
Push and hold.
There you go. Okay, now push and hold. Now get it going. Now keep holding, and then start inhaling. There you go. See, it's still glowing, but it got rid of that initial burst.
I don't taste the coils at all in this.
Go ahead, because it's breaking up. So the heat up, because the heat is getting transferred into the glass, it is different heat up. So the heat needs to get transferred over. Okay, there you go. See, now it's heating up. So it takes a minute to heat
I
up.
get a little confused because I'm expecting it to get hot, you know. So when I feel
So you're just looking at the little ball of fire in there,
Exactly,
and it's okay. So
But I still have a hit in there. Hold on.
don't want to waste that now.
It's cool.
Okay, now it's
like,
really moving. Like I can smell it.
Yeah.
I'm getting like
yeah,
secondhand
I
smell
honestly,
CBD.
Not because I'm honey girl, but I don't taste that coil taste that I do taste with that.
It's you blowing it out here into the room. It's got a different note. Like this has a real natural, I want to say, kind of
Ooh, I'm
Like
excited.
you're getting kind of like a little honeyish, little earthy kind of smell, to whereas the other one I didn't really smell it as much. So let's talk about the heat up time. These things, these little quartz rods, because the actual wax, the CBD crumble, is touching the coil, so you're going to get a real rapid transfer of heat because that metal is actually touching. Here, as you see, Honey Girl had to cycle through to get the glass hot before you really started visualizing the vapor, but she was already getting taste notes off of it.
Right
But
away.
then once she got it heated up to the point to where that interior glass cradle was super hot, she's able to get nice vape cloud pulls off of it too. And the flavor is still there to where it's lacking that taste of where the coil is touching the wax. So again, if we had a blowtorch and we had this thing to 200 degrees, it would vaporize instantaneously. But this is a pocket on the go unit. You know, it's a high quality glass. You have a nice cylinder here. You can definitely carry this.
It honestly does change the taste in the CBD now, because this is the first time that I actually taste I don't taste it with the coil, you know what I mean? Whether it's a little bit or a lot, you can actually, it makes a difference with the CBD.
Have you ever used one, like any type of crumbles or shatters out of a glass rig, like a tabletop rig, or is this kind of like your first time venturing outside of coils? Because all the other units are either ceramic plate, ceramic bowl, some kind of ceramic wire combination, silica, or quartz rods.
Yeah, well, I know with the Phantom I've tried, because I know the Phantom, we have this.
That has the dual
Phantom-
quartz coils with the ceramic bowl.
Yeah, so I've tried the CBD with that, but I've actually used a tabletop coil before.
How would you say that the experience compares? Like just between the pocket unit, I know that
Okay,
the other
well,
thing
this
has
is
a
what I
lot
was
more
thinking.
power. I think the other thing has a lot more power because you're heating it up to, 1,000+ degrees.
It does. It has a lot more power, but when it comes to like convenience and being able to get more out of it, I feel like this is so more convenient to that, and everybody doesn't have time to carry around a tabletop or a rig, or and especially you have to wait till it gets cooled down. You can't touch it. You can't go near it. And this is just
it's
you
fine
have
to
steps.
touch.
There might be a few steps that you have to follow to do it, but it's way more convenient than sitting there with a tabletop or a rig and doing the extra steps. And then
Yeah,
also
and
get
then
the
you can
clarity
also
from it.
look to see what the difference of the two leftover residues looks like. I mean, this is just clear on the glass itself. Whereas you have a splatter, you have some discoloration on the coil, to where you can just keep going until this
Yeah, with the
completely
Hoff, you can keep
vaporizes. We did put a little bit more into the plasma. We just put, because this wasn't a deep bowl, so we just put a real small little half kernel of corn sized piece across the two coils there. But that just gives you a brief little demo. I mean, do you think that this is a new experience to the vaporizers based off of all the different HoneyStick units and other units you've been trying at trade shows and stuff?
For me, definitely. For me, that was one of the things up there. This was a new experience for me. For the CBD too as well, to taste.
Because you've had the CBD before, because we're involved in the Gold Line
but it's
CBD.
like a different. I'm getting a different taste from it. You know what I mean? It's the same CBD, but I'm used to, vaping it through other vaporizers. I mean, nothing like this. It's a whole different ballgame when it comes to that, for sure.
Okay, so before we go, guys, now that we got this unit nice and, we got some residues on it, you're going to get 2 of these with each one of your kits, okay? So how to keep your unit clean. It's really simple. We're going to have some more of these on the website if you like them. Otherwise, you can just use an isopropyl wipe or use your own Q-tips and kind of dip them in isopropyl. But what's cool about these is that they're Q-tips and they're actually charged with isopropyl alcohol. It's going to clean your unit. So you just break one of these things off.
Sweet.
Right? You open it. Makes it really simple. And then you remove I'm not going to go into cleaning the bowl right now because the bowl still might be a little bit hot, but the glass here is a little bit caked up. So So you do is you hold it so that this blue stripe is facing upward. And then what you do is you just break it right by the blue stripe. Then the isopropyl rushes down, moistens up the Q-tip, and you can, presto, you can just clean it right up. Get all your residues out there. Get the center post.
Wow.
And then you can just let it dry up. Clean the inside of the mouthpiece.
Yeah. So you said we had extras of these in the warehouse?
What are you trying to take them home? No. So you see, real nice and clean. I mean, just a few seconds, and it would be the same procedure to go through and clean the bowl. But obviously, you know, there's still some CBDs left in there. We don't want to mess with that. We want to let it cool down. But same thing, these are real easy to use and real convenient. You can get them cleaned up. I mean, that's looking pretty brand new. It's just got to dry off. So is there anything else, Honey Girl, you want to leave our audience with?
Nothing really. Thanks for having me as the guinea pig, as always.
That's what she signed up for when she decided to work at HoneyStick. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Use our special promo code HONEY420. Check us out on vapehoneystick.com. Follow us on Instagram at vapehoneystick. You can catch Honey Girl at
official Vape HoneyStick at the Instagram.
So guys, be in touch with us, reach out, and I hope you get to try this unit or like it. Let us know what you think of the technology, and see you in the comments.
Bye.
Cheers.